Hello and welcome to match day one. Match number 5, it's the final clash for the day. And tell you what, it's the clash of the titans. The table toppers are going to battle it out. Chennai Wolves coming after an impressive victory of 11 runs against the Sydney Panthers. And we had the likes of the Apes getting the better there of the Delhi Sharks. Joining me along is my expert, of course, Chetan Arora. Chetan, intense battle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Expecting an intense battle as well between Chennai, table topping sides. Day 1, game 5, you want to go home and say, okay, you know what, we completely dominated the day today, got those 2 victories.
Well, absolutely. Now, we've seen 4 games. We've seen a lot of the runs. We've seen a lot of wickets. This is going to be interesting because 2 teams who have seen the tournament, who have also played, now it's in fact the first contest where 2 teams who have already played are going to clash against each other. There you see, we started with the Wolves starting the campaign against the Sydney Panthers, winning it convincingly, eventually for another 3 games. And then we came down to now, as I come down to now, the 5th game for the day, where the Wolves are all ready to take on against the New York Apes. We did see a good potential in the other sides as well. But at the end of the day, if you have the points in your kitty, that's what will really matter. Because remember, we are building in for that all-important land finale coming up very soon in front, in a few days, of course. Chetan, now we have seen some high-scoring games, some low-scoring games. Expect it to be a little high scoring this time around when you see these players up on your screen?
No, not actually, because I think, both these sides have a good bowling attack. Both of them have good bowling attacks. And the games that they won today were built by their bowling attacks. And, they had high totals to chase down. But they were created, in terms of the last 2-3 overs. So from that aspect, not expecting a very high scoring total today.
Right, of course, we talk about the teams now, the roster for the teams. You don't see much of a change side there, especially when you're talking about real cricket at the GEPL. The side is retained without a doubt. And again, the onus lies in the skipper again to take them forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great players in there. Manoj and Anil, they were all part. Manoj, Anurag, Anil. They were all part of the top run getters, top wicket takers, Surjit, Simha. I mean, it's been brilliant to see the way Chennai performed today in terms of bowling, especially in those last 3 overs. And, they beat Sydney Panthers with relative ease. And I think we'll see the same thing with New York as well in terms of how they performed in that first game.
Well, of course, then you've seen a few of the teams really breaking out that. We have seen one thing where, of course, winning the toss has really mattered here. But we have seen some close contested games where, of course, the toss could have been a factor. But in the end, what really turns out to be is that it's how you play on the field. We have, of course, the New York Apes now. Talk about JD. We've been talking about JD, of course, and his performance has been. We've also seen how Razin and Jitu partnered very well in the end and, gave that all-important victory to New York Apes. Again, it's an important clash because you're seeing a set of good bowlers taking on a set of good batters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like I said, this is a good bowling attack, just like the one Chennai has. Some of these players, they were really awesome. It was almost like a complete teamwork. I mean, if you talk about the first 4 matches today, New York Apes was really that team effort that really won out.
Well, there have been some really standout players who come down and, of course, make a difference in that squad. When we have a look, in fact, with the players who really make a difference. This is what in front of you. Anurag, well, you see that photo there, energy there. We've seen a lot of energy out here as well in Pune, where we're bringing you all the coverage in JioCinema. We have Neta as well on the other side, who will also try to make a difference. Yep.
Yeah, Neta with a score with an economy rate of just about 6. And on the other hand, you have Anurag, who has the 2nd highest strike rate in the tournament out of lakhs and lakhs of players, in the qualifying rounds and in the top 48 now in the GEPL. He has the 2nd highest strike rate, and that's 260 plus. So this battle is going to be very, very intriguing and probably going to dictate in which direction the match goes.
Probably going to dictate, of course. We've been seeing players who give a lot of impact players who have created, not just in bowling, but also fielding has mattered in the few games that we've seen. There have been certain misfields. Remember, you also get to field as a fielder in the game. It's not just physical fielding, but it's also to do with your timing of fielding.
Yeah. It's all about timing, whether it's batting, whether it's bowling, whether it's fielding. It's all about timing, whether it's the batsman, you have to time, whether it's, time the shots. When you're bowling, you have to time to catch the ball which is up in the air. So this game is purely about timing. और अगर आप real cricket खेल रहे हैं ना, give it 2-3 days, timing आ जाएगी आपकी थोड़ी.
हमने कोशिश जरूर की
बिल्कुल
थी,
हमने भी कोशिश की थी.
हमें दिक्कत हुई खेलने में. But of course, before we quickly head into the toss, Chetan, I'd like to have your quick predictions about this game.
I think New York, the kind of bowling attack they have. Chennai, very good bowling attack as well, but I think New York.
Well, of course, we have Neeraj ready with the umpires and the captains of the two teams for the toss. Let's go to Neeraj.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
अब आगे कुछ भी हो सकता है।
टी-शर्ट पहन के आया साइकिल लोन लगा के फोन बता दे सबको बच के
All flights to remain grounded.
जो खुद की सुनते हैं दुनिया उनकी सुनती है। लेंसकार्ट आकड़ है,
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा।
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं।
देवी और संजनो, ये है मैच नंबर 5 एंड जैसे हमारे एनालिस्ट ने कहा, दिस इज ट्रूली द क्लैश ऑफ द टाइटंस. With me here is Jagdish Kumar from NewYork Apes and Surjit Singh from Chennai Wolves. Both these teams have won the first match. अब देखते हैं आगे क्या होगा. I would now like to call the umpire for the toss. A big round of applause for both our champions. कैप्टन्स, आप दोनों में से कॉल कौन लेगा? पास रखिए कौन? So the Chennai Wolves called for heads, but unfortunately it's tails. So it is gonna be JD who's gonna make the call. JD, आइए बताइए, बैटिंग या बॉलिंग? बॉलिंग. बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट हो, क्या हुआ बताइए, जस्ट व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन योर हेड राइट नाउ?
बस वही करना है जो पहले मैच में किया है।
सुरजीत हंस रहा है यार, क्या
हंसने दीजिए ना, बड़ा भाई है।
अच्छा, ओके, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ ब्रदरहुड गोइंग ऑन. चलिए जेडी, ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट टू यू. कम सुरजीत, इधर आइए, टेक द माइक. बताइए, टॉस हार गए, क्या लेने वाले थे? बॉलिंग ही लेने वाले थे, क्या होने वाले थे?
Got the same result as the first match.
अरे
And I think the result is gonna be same.
Result is gonna be same. Okay, that's a very confident statement. All the best to both the teams. And now over to my analyst.
Well, there you had the captain from the New York Apes winning the toss and choosing to bowl again. And it's seen this time and again of captains choosing to bowl again. The idea just to be restricting the batters to a good score which they can defend coming on. Chetan, the saga continues.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a trend. अब तो बिल्कुल बिल्कुल predictable होता जा रहा है कि आप टॉस जीत के पहले गेंदबाजी करेंगे. But you know, we also have to take it as a strategic move by New York Apes. उनके 3 गेंदबाज हैं जो 6 की औसत से गेंदबाजी करते हैं. An economy of 6 from that perspective alone. And then you look at Chennai. I mean, is it really such a bad thing for them? Their top 4 batsmen score at 200 plus. So it's going to be a very, very even contest between the two sides.
Well, there you are, of course. We've had a quick prediction, but again, we have been surprised quite a lot of times. Well, we are all ready with the game then, because our casters are also ready. Floki and Crips, off to you.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
lenskart. Download the app or visit your nearest store.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा।
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं।
Thank you so much, a dear analyst panel. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to the Global eCricket Premier League. We are here with the final match of the day, and it's going to be between the Chennai Wolves as well as the New York Apes. Both teams with one win under their belt, but unfortunately, one of them is going to be losing out this match. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be the Wolves or the Apes? Well, to answer that question, I've got another man here with me on the commentating stand. It is going to be Crips, who is actually sitting at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Let's see if the Apes will actually be able to sit down this match or whether they will be on their feet running circles around their opponents. They definitely did that.
Apes to do. Kind of hard for Apes to do, right? Because they're like these big, burly creatures.
Yeah. Yeah.
They move on all fours. I mean, they got big bodies.
Yeah, I mean, and then they evolved. And then they started walking on two legs, running on two legs. And at some point, they even picked up the bat. And here we are.
Here we
Thousands
are.
of years later. Darwin evolution theory in practice.
There you go, yeah. The New York Apes going to be duking it out against the Chennai Wolves. But man, you know, I want to bring the topic back to reality. Okay, so Chennai Wolves have done really, really well for themselves. I think the first match, stellar performance by the Wolves. We all predicted that it'd be them. Yes, it did seem like it was going to get close, but then the Wolves managed to pull it back. New York Apes, on the other hand, I mean, fantastic bowling by them, fantastic batting as well, catching everyone by surprise, and I think putting up a really solid performance here today. But one of these teams is not going to be winning it out. Crips, I want you to tell me which way is it that you're leaning for this match?
I really think that Chennai has this one in the bag. Yes, New York Apes were phenomenal. In fact, they were the only one team who was able to successfully pull off a massive run chase and actually have a very decent target on the back of it too. But a lot of their batting depends on some of their star players. I mean, JD definitely carried his team in the first over there.
Yeah.
He did not even survive for an over, but still he was able to make like 20-something runs while he was there. So he was there for a limited amount of time, but that impact was definitely felt. And I feel like if it wasn't for JD and his standout outlier performance, New York Apes probably might not have won this one.
Yeah, all right. Well, it seems like the verdict is out. Jagdish is the man to take out. If you're the Chennai Wolves over here, the man who scored a ton of runs for the side of the Apes. And I think you're right about that. I do think the Wolves are going to try and make it their mission to try and catch JD off guard. So JD is going to have to be very careful, very prudent. And hopefully this is time for some of the other Apes members to pick up the slack and maybe come in clutch. And here we are into the match now. Wolves going to be starting things off on the batting side, and it's going to be Anil. और एप्स की तरफ से यहाँ पे रजन रहेंगे, राजन एक्सक्यूज मी, जो ऑफ स्पिनर है.
Good way to start the innings. सिर्फ 2 रन दिए गए पहले बॉल पे. Decent enough pace. This time, ball going towards the leg side of the stump and then also being hit for a cover drive. I'm sorry, a mid wicket. That's a powerful pulsar shot.
Oh yeah. Well, actually towards the square leg more so. But well, coming back to the game, another boundary attempted, but a good save coming in from the fielder. I think they no way they just found 4, right? They only found 3. I hope not. I mean, seeing a repeat of that in this game as well would have been ludicrous. Okay, yeah, that's not the case at all.
At all.
And now Anurag's first ball.
Keep in mind, folks, both of these guys are playing for a win, but this doesn't seem like a W. He's gone. Straight to the middle stump.
And that's a big fat hill, and a lenskart out at that. As well. Yep.
You can tell the look of regret on his face as he tried to go for a cover drive in that one. Definitely mistimed it. Even stepped a little more towards his leg side, more than he should have. And it found the gap.
And the Wolves now bringing in their brute. As the brute does find a couple of runs, start things off with, but the New York Apes off to a flying start once again. In this match, decent run rate for the side of the Wolves, but yeah, the Apes, they've mitigated the damage and then some as they limit the number of boundaries this over to just 1.
Yeah, relinquishing 12 runs in the over is decent enough, especially जब आप उसके ऊपर एक wicket निकाल सकते हो. So I think they will be quite happy with the outcome. New York Apes definitely keeping it competitive. याद रखना दोस्तों, ये दोनों टीम्स आज ऑलरेडी एक-एक मैच जीत चुकी है और जो भी टीम ये वाला मैच जीतेगी will be at the top of the scoreboard with 2 wins for 2 matches played.
Oh, that is a beautiful shot. It's up in the air, but it's going to be defended by the fielder.
लेकिन काफी टाइम मिल गया.
Yep. उसी के साथ I think 3 रन मिलेंगे एप्स को और एप्स से खुश रहेंगे, but फिर भी उन्हें वो बाउंड्रीज चाहिए पावर प्ले वाली ओवर्स में.
डेफिनेटली वो बाउंड्रीज चाहिए. अनिल, मनोज दोनों को बल्ला तेजी से चलाना होगा. ऑफ कोर्स अच्छे से टाइम करके. Bowling over the wicket is Jitu. It's a nice pretty shot. That's a misfield and a 4. No, You can't afford that.
Oh boy, the nose. Starting to get the better of the Apes here. As that had to be defended by the fielder, but the fielder, his head in the clouds. So rather, Jeetu himself, his head was in the clouds as he didn't really get fielding right, but tight fielding on this one to make up for it, although the Apes knew they could have done that better.
A little butterfinger moment. Surely Jeetu won't let this one slip again.
Yeah, oh, okay. That's a bit of a missed one. The world certainly not too pleased about that. But I think Jeetu is going to be after, well, that missed opportunity on the fielding.
Ooh, down on one knee, all the way across the boundary. What a shot.
And that's a 4. Once again, some beautiful batsmanship coming through from the brute. Manoj smashes it home towards the boundary for a 4.
Oh, Jeetu changing stances. Let's see if this one goes any better. Good off spin, and it will be intercepted. But given the pace that Chennai are climbing at, I think they're quite happy. Run rate somewhere around 13, and they've only lost 1 wicket so far. So I think it's a steady ship.
Certainly seems like it. The New York Apes finally out of the deep end as the power play overs conclude. And now we move on to potentially 4, maybe even 5 fielders on the outfield. So you'll see the change in formation soon in the top left corner on the mini-map.
Wow, that's a very condensed field. Oh,
there
never mind. It just they went for an inside-out setup from the condensed one.
Let's see if the setup works wonders. Looks like it does, because that fielder will be able to prevent the boundary. In fact, there's a good chance for a stumping there as well, but good awareness by the Wolves to go for the dive.
And Jeetu bowled that at 123 kilometers an hour. That was a fast one.
Oh, yeah. And oh, okay. A missed shot by the batsman, a missed opportunity, and Jeetu is going to be smiling after that one. Some really good bowling coming through from the Apes. As the Chennai Wolves sitting at 28 runs in 2.5 overs. Is it going to be caught? No, it's not. It's found the boundary, and that's going to be a 6er.
Pulsar minus 125. Just like the speed of that ball, the bike is just as fast. And the previous ball was actually a duck one. These are all the same types of balls, almost all of them landing towards the offside stump and the area outside it. And every single time he's attempted a shot either towards cover or towards point, has only been able to connect one of those so far. But hey, that one single boundary is enough to keep up the pace for the time being. For the time being the key words over here. Chennai definitely will need to step it up as the progress continues.
Yeah. The Apes going to try and mount the pressure on, because this over has been a mixed bag. But perhaps Jeetu can pull it back. Oh, the infielder needs to get it, and he does. And that's another batsman taken out of the picture by the Apes, as that's a lenskart out.
नजर हटी और दुर्घटना घटी. ट्रैप किया, अच्छी तरह से सेट किया था. Full toss ball था. Same line में towards the outer area of the offside stump. And इस बार फिर से उन्होंने cover drive attempt किया, लेकिन fielder मौजूद थे. एक और wicket जीतू के नाम.
Oh yeah. But still, there's a good chance here for the Wolves to run away with 60 runs in their pocket, but it's going to have to be on the back of some stellar batting from Manoj. But this one is nothing to hold your breath for. As there you go. That's going to be the end of the third over.
I must say, this guy Jeetu really does bring some pace to it.
He certainly does, and yeah, good bowling coming through from him.
And guess what? He wasn't even the designated fast bowler.
Oh yeah, he wasn't.
Imagine what Netha can do. This guy can be an absolute beast. His bowling prowess is nothing to scoff at. Good length ball, tossed towards the Point side, and it's gone. Oh, that could have been close.
Yeah, a lot closer than the Wolves would have liked, but thankfully the batsmen were quick enough on their feet. Manoj definitely had the cojones to try and get the second one in as well. Just manages to squeeze it in.
Ooh. Another good length ball, but this time a similar approach yields different results. Boundaries for the taking.
Yeah, and the ball, it whips and weaves past the fielders, and somehow it found the boundary. Even though it looked difficult.
Oof.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of difficult, I think the batsman certainly had a hard time finding that one.
That was a screamer. You can tell that the missed time wasn't even the batsman's fault. That was a damn fast delivery from the side of Netha. Another fast delivery, but this time he gets on one knee. Unfortunately, will be intercepted once again, as Netha definitely putting the pressure on. A bit of an overthrow, but it really won't be making much of a difference here. As Chennai keeping a steady pace, losing only 2 wickets while scoring 44 runs. They are almost at the end of their 4th over.
Oh yeah. This time around, the fielders keep it tight. And the Wolves will only find 2 on the back of that. Good throw as well, but
yeah,
the Wolves are safe.
Dude, have you noticed that Netha is just so consistent with these direct hits?
Yeah, very good on the fielding, Netha.
If either Simha or Manoj get a little greedy, if they try to go for one more run than necessary, they will be in way too much danger.
Oh, but that's a beautiful one. Is it going to find the fielder? It does. Beautiful stoppage of the ball. That's a 6 that was shut down by the fielder.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been an out as well, but hey, that was a difficult catch to land in the first place. So the fact that you defended it against the boundary itself is very impressive enough. Kudos to Netha.
And now it's the man himself, JD, for the final over of the game at 49 runs. Let's see what kind of tricks he can pull out of the bag. And right away, the Wolves being kept on their toes. And you can see the smile cracking up on his face too in the player cams.
JD has this pattern where he often tries to aim towards the outer area of the offside stump, and every now and then he will just go straight for the middle stump. The fact that he keeps on changing it with these variations is what keeps all these batsmen on their toes.
Oh
but
yeah.
Luckily, Chennai have plenty of wickets to spare, and with only 1 over to go, they can start taking the risky shots now.
Oh yeah. And they've got the wickets in hand, like you mentioned, so it's do or die. You want to cross 60, you better start looking towards those boundaries.
Eyes on the prize, eyes on the ball. Make the shot, and it goes the distance. But it's a little too high. Will it make the catch? Just about.
But once again, terrific fielding coming through, even though the catch was not there. JD has his eyes on the prize. And with only 3 balls remaining, it doesn't look like the Wolves are going to be able to cross 60 this over.
Yeah, and that is the saving grace for the New York Apes.
Or how I just cursed them. Well, we'll find out on this ball.
Wow.
It's high up in the air. And good fielding prevents it from reaching the boundary.
JD has just been so versatile in this entire over. Not one single ball has been similar.
Really consistent performance by him too.
Yeah. He doesn't just change the stance over and around the wicket, he also changes the kind of spins he goes for.
Oh, that ball is going to find the fielder again, and even though JD has not really done much towards finding some more wickets, he's done a stellar job
at just
making sure.
Yeah, at just confining them and making sure that they can't do much. Always going for those short and good length balls, making it difficult for the ball to connect to the center of the bat. And with that, there won't be much power, making it super easy for the fielders to intercept. Keeping them humble, cutting them off at the knees are New York Apes. With a phenomenal innings, restricting Chennai to less than a 60-run mark, this should not be a challenging chase for the Wolves.
All-new Pulsar Mania is here. Maniacs wanted.
lenskart. Download the app now.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा।
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं।
59 is what they need on the side of the Apes. And we'll see if they have enough fuel remaining in the tank now, because it has been a rather long day for them. Let's not forget, this is the second match for both of these teams.
Yep, and both of them have a win under the bag.
They most certainly do, and neither wants to be the loser of this one, so expect to see some really close shaves. But 59 runs and 30 balls.
Looks like an achievable target if you go for 2 runs in every single ball, and so far that's been the meta. We've seen very few singles. Almost every time the ball goes for a toss, the batsmen are able to score doubles.
And the opening duo is going to be JD and Kamal. So JD is the radical and Kamal is the brute. And the Apes, they're going to look to smash those boundaries in nice and early, so that the rest of the batsmen can chase down their targets comfortably. JD is a man who's known for his boundaries.
And he's known for his killer spirit.
And speaking of which, starting things off with a bang is JD.
Just a good old bull shot. The ball was good length as well. Nothing too challenging. It wasn't very fast. Didn't spin much either. You cannot afford to give JD these kind of straightforward balls, because he will hit them. He will find the gaps.
Oh yeah. Ajay is going to try his best to find the wicket.
Oh.
Not really where JD intended for it to go. But the ball thrown to the bowler's end instead.
Yeah, you can see how difficult it was for JD to connect that shot.
Oh yeah.
He slid a little more towards the right hand side, tried to go for a cut shot, probably towards either point or cover, but it just nicked the edge of his bat and went right behind him.
Oh no, that might just go straight to the fielder's arms. But never mind, it does find a bounce. So Kamal wasn't in all that much of trouble. And they will find 2. And like you mentioned, all they need to average is 2 runs per ball, and Apes are going to be in the clear, in the green, or in the money, as they like to say.
I mean, they will be rolling in money if they win this entire tournament. There's 2.5 crores on the line over here, Floki.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a goddamn huge amount of money.
It certainly is, but with that, that's going to be a total of 9 runs found for the Apes, as they continue to pile on, and the Wolves just need to somehow slog it out of this over. Try to limit the boundaries, but Kamal says, no, sorry, Bob. This is my field, and I will smash that ball the way I see fit.
Another reverse sweep. He is just so good at those. It is indeed difficult to use these reverse sweeps. That too against different kinds of bowlers. Sure, you can go for something like that against a spin bowler.
Oh, yeah.
But we've seen them try all of those against the speedsters as well.
Certainly haven't. Got to say, the Wolves, considering the amount of pressure they are in, if they had a slightly better time and on the batting side, this wouldn't have been a bad over for them. But considering the number of runs they scored, they do need a little bit more than this.
But they need a lot more than this.
They certainly
Required
do.
run rate of 11 seems very achievable for the side of New York Apes. Even if they don't go for the boundaries, even if they just play it safe, take the singles, take the doubles, they should be well within touching distance of this win.
Oh yeah. And now it's going to be Simha stepping through. He's going to be playing the off spin for the side of the Wolves. Perhaps he can trick the batsman, but nope. JD, he's got the eye of the tiger, knows where the ball's going, and will still be able to find a 2. And again, that's all the Apes need to do.
And sure, you might think that New York Apes are the kind of people who absolutely love to smash these balls, especially at the start. We've seen stellar performances from JD in power play overs, especially against his match this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, we just saw him absolutely destroy his previous opponents. Now, he's a bit more tame. a bit more chained in here. But the moment those shackles fall, he will be out.
And he will be taken out of the picture here. The Wolves will succeed in alleviating some of that pressure, and it's all thanks to Simha and his clever bowling.
Great one.
Yeah.
Not as much spin into that ball, but it landed square where it needed to.
Oh yeah.
Good length. Gave JD a false sense of security that he can go for that mid-wicket.
Oh yeah. And now Razan's into the picture. The balanced batsman is here. And that has somehow found the boundary. Credit where credit is due. It was a beautiful shot coming through from Kamal. And again, making sure that the Wolves are the ones who stay on their toes.
He just makes it look easy, doesn't it?
He certainly does.
This one, he did not even try. I mean, I can understand the last one being good, especially since he had to put his knees inside that one, really put his back into it. But not this one, no sir.
Oh,
another
wow.
one towards square leg. He has such an affinity for square leg over here, consistently scoring boundaries.
Oh yeah. Beautiful batting coming through by Kamal.
The Pulsar power play. I mean, given how often he's driving these balls across that boundary, you will need a bike to go retrieve it every single time.
Oh yeah. And finally, Razan, who stepped out onto the pitch earlier after JD was taken out, will get his first chance here. In the first ball out of the power play. Fielders towards the outer circle, a wide spread out and completely left here by Razan.
Yeah, that's okay. These kind of jitters happen. But you know what's the impressive part? It's the fact that Kamal has 22 runs off of 7 balls. Kamal was the one player in their team who has less than 200 strike rate. The only player on the team who has less than 200 strike rate. And if he can step up, then everybody else on the team can.
Oh yeah, Kamal really punching above his weight and connecting, in fact. Doing some real heavy lifting here for the side of the Apes, as he must. But even then, if they just continue to find the twos, they're going to be in the clear. And it's really the Wolves who need to wipe the sweat off their brow and get their heads back into this game, because that's what they need a lot more of.
Tried to go for a reverse sweep, did not happen. I don't know why Razan is trying to pull off a Kamal cosplay. In his previous match, Kamal was really targeting the third man and fine leg area. Now he's got more of an affinity towards square leg, but hey, whatever he isn't doing, Razin definitely is. And this one goes across for another Pulsar Power 4.
Oh yeah, again, New York Apes, even though they could just chase their targets down with 2s and 3s, must make a show out of it. But even though they don't really require all those many runs, this is really going to mess with the heads of the Chennai Wolves, who didn't really get those many runs. As the Apes have hyped themselves up, but this ball looks a little bit risky. Yeah, it is. Surjit again catching the batsman off guard with that ball, and that's going to be the wicket that they were looking for. Wolves can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh. रजीम की नजर उस पॉइंट और स्क्वायर लेग की तरफ बहुत टाइम से थी. काफी बार उस एरिया में उन्होंने शॉट मारने की कोशिश की है, लेकिन जैसे ही उनकी नजर हटी, एक बार फिर से दुर्घटना घटी. Lenskart Blue empowering all these wickets.
Oh yeah. And now it's Jitu's turn on the pitch. Jitendra, the radical batsman, is here, by the way. So that was the balanced batsman that was taken out of the picture. Perhaps not as big of a loss here for the side of the Apes, but once again, this is going to force them to play a little bit safer.
That was,
yeah,
risky to say the least.
Certainly, but again, really good bowling coming out by Surjit here, alleviating a lot of that pressure. And now with 2 overs left, this is achievable. It is not, it's not all that lofty from these heights. The Wolves can certainly climb this mountain.
It's scalable. They got their hiking boots. They got the ropes. All they have to do is throw it around the curve. And they'll be home safe.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget, we are out of the power play overs now, so there's more pressure on the batsmen to try and get those boundaries as and when needed. They do have 3 wickets in hand. That's what they should be thinking about, but that is a beautiful shot. There's no way on earth that ball was being stopped. 2 fingers up in the air. The umpire confirms and confers the 6.
What a powerful shot. Offensive repulsor will be very proud of that. And that too on such a dangerous in-swing. Yet another swing, but this time it's a miss.
Oh yeah.
Goes well outside the range of his bat. And it is well outside the range for the umpire as well.
Oh yeah.
Besides, it's a wide.
A wide ball coming through. And that might just be the breather that the side of the Apes needed. It seems like the Apes have finally turned over a new leaf here. And Anil is starting to feel the heat now. First ball was a 6, second one was a wide. Finds a dot, so just needs to calm his nerves and make sure that he can control these batsmen. And perhaps the real mind games can come through in the final over.
Anil is one of the more experienced players on this team. From what I heard before, this is not his first rodeo. He's participated in several cricket tournaments before. So he's well versed with the amount of risk and the amount of expertise required to excel in these kind of tournaments. And now that you're here playing in the GEPL, you better put your best foot forward as this one goes all the way across for a 6. Steps into that one, puts in a little bit of force. And one of the more experienced bowlers has been taken for a ride by Jitu.
Oh yeah. And that's going to be a 6-er. As again, the Wolves, just as things start to look up for them, they are reminded why they had to hold on to their horses, because Jitu is the radical batsman that was saved for last, and that's another wide. The pressure really getting to the heads of the Wolves now.
Oh, this is dead even. 8 runs required in 8 balls. Anil is really bringing the pace into this game. Almost all of his balls have been above the 100 km/h mark. This one was at a screaming 139. This is really just pushing the limits of how fast you can bowl. But it goes for a wide.
Oh yeah, it's a little unfortunate that such a fast ball had to be a little too wide.
I mean, when you're going for these kind of speeds, you risk getting a no ball.
Yeah, you certainly do. I mean, there's some pretty good bowling coming through, but again, it seems like the Apes are cool, calm and composed, as they know that victory is within reach. As they have just 1 ball remaining in this over. Could seal the deal with a couple of boundaries, but no such need. And no need to be that hasty. But nevertheless, they will still deliver. But they want to hear the drums, as that's another showstopper for.
They don't need that many runs. They don't need to be this hasty. But it seems like the Apes are here to complete a speedrun record. It's been a long day for them. It's been a long day for all of us, and they want to wrap it up and send it packing. Get their second victory on board, as they can almost taste their victory.
Oh yeah, they've got a train to catch after this one, folks. As they are eyeing down the last couple of runs, the home stretch for a set of this innings.
You can see how calm and composed they are.
Yeah.
NewYork Apes not even breaking a sweat. Sure, this one's a miss, but it doesn't really matter. They have nothing to worry about. And even though you are so close to victory, these kind of wides, they're just giving away free runs to the Apes.
Yeah.
They don't need to put an effort to win this one. And now, without doing anything, they have tied up the scores. Victory is inevitable.
Yep.
Floki, this is the time where you start asking questions whether you go for a regular old finish or would you like to hit the ball in style, finish off with a 6. You know, really taking some inspiration from Captain Dhoni over here.
I mean, the brute. It's all up to him, Kamal, who has stayed on the pitch as long as he has been careful, and he will finish it in style with a boundary. He's got up. He doesn't even need the umpire to confirm it. He knows it's a foul, and that is it, folks. The Apes win by 2 wickets, and the Wolves are left to fend for themselves. As you can see, the smiles breaking out on their faces as they're quite pleased with the outcome.
This is the second win the New York Apes register in the GEPL. The first one came at the courtesy of a massive carry performance from JD earlier on this morning. But this one, no, it doesn't even need him to perform out of his mind. Consistent performances from every single player on the side of the Apes nets them the second victory of the day. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going to a short break. Congratulations to the New York Apes.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा।
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं।
न्यूयॉर्क, 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 क्या कर रहे हो यार? What a stellar performance! A big round of applause for the New York Apes. JD, आ जाओ. The mastermind behind the victory. JD, the audience wants to know. क्या चल रहा है यार? Strategy मतलब क्या रहे हो आप?
जब टीम ही इतनी अच्छी हो तो विन तो अपने आप ही मिलती है।
विन तो मिलना ही है। बट या ऑन अ सीरियस नोट, ये मैच कैसा गया? एज एक्सपेक्टेड कुछ लाइक व्हाट वाज द गेम प्ले?
इस बार मैं थोड़ा जल्दी आउट हो गया था, लेकिन मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस था मेरी टीम पे। रजीन, जीतू, कमल, नेता सब एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर है, तो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा खेला और इस बार अब मेरे ऊपर कोई प्रेशर नहीं है, अब मैं खुल के खेल सकता हूँ, खुल के।
अच्छा जी, ओके। एंड व्हाट अबाउट द ओपोनेंट्स? हाउ डिड द वुल्व्स प्ले?
वो सारे अच्छे प्लेयर हैं, मुझे पता है, सारे अच्छे दोस्त भी हैं।
चलें, कोई नहीं, हार्ड लक है ना?
बेस्ट ऑफ लक नेक्स्ट टाइम।
Best of luck next time. JD, congratulations and all the very best for the next match. Guys, this was match number 5, and now over to my analysts.
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
Piyush, hey, I was just on lenskart. ये जो price है $999, right?
नहीं करण, रुपीज है।
I can't be seen wearing glasses under 1 lakh. Price थोड़ा ज्यादा हो सकता है क्या?
करण, ये बढ़िया प्राइस है। It's only because you don't have middleman.
90,000?
आप कहीं और से ले लो। 80,000. I'm going. Bye.
अमीरों की हाई लगेगी तुझे।
फैक्ट्री वाले प्राइसेस, नो मिडलमैन। लेंसकार्ट, डाउनलोड द ऐप।
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा।
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स, पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं।
Well, to many of you all who had the question, who would be going to the top of the table? I hope you've got the answers. Now, joining me along is Chetan Arula. Chetan, we expected to be a cracker, and of course, it turned out to be one.
Absolutely, it did. And, I'll just going to say that I predicted that New York Apes are going to win. A hard-fought victory. I think these are the two best sides in the tournament. I think that's what we got to see today in terms of bowling, in terms of batting. I think it's going to be a challenge for any other side to be able to compete with these two teams.
Well, New York, of course, we talk about their batting. They got to a decent start, 15 in the first over. When you talk about giving that impact, of course, 15 in the first over. And then, of course, it was an easy chase for them. I mean, they just did it.
Yeah, I mean, they're brute player, Kamal. I mean, he played a gem of an innings. I mean, you just look at the way he timed the ball. And when we talk about a brute player, we're talking about a player who has the power, who has the timing, and who knows when to get his shots right. And that's what he did. Kamal, 26 of 9. And then good finish from Jeetu as well, 20 of 6 deliveries. JD, we saw him in the last game. He did really well, but not in this game. It was not meant to be. But, you needed wickets in terms of Chennai breaking down this partnership. That did not happen. And from that aspect, I think it was an easy win. And thing is, they got 62 in just 4.1 overs. So, you know, if they were batting first, they would probably have crossed 70 runs. I mean, but that's conjecture. But at the same time, you have to say that 62 in 4 overs, that was mighty, mighty batting.
And of course, you have seen with how easy eventually they got to the chase with 3 wickets. Of course, we talk about Chennai's batting. They got a decent start and probably 21 in the first. Of course, in the power play, the first 2 overs. You think they failed to capitalize on a good start?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they lost a few wickets. Look at that start. They made 22 of 10. Anil, he's turning out to be a good player for them. Manoj, again, 22 of 11. Those 2 wickets, though, again, you know, we have seen it time and again. I think we're looking for what has been the pattern through the day. I think we can add another to the list that whenever you lose a wicket, the runs are going to go out of the window. We see that in real life cricket, and now we are seeing it in real cricket as well. As soon as the wicket falls, the momentum goes out of the window. It takes time to recover from it. But then, yes, 58 was not that bad a total, but I think there was some really good bowling at the end of the innings. And I think earlier we discussed that these 2 sides are really good with their bowling. I think they showed it today.
Well, of course, and we did see, of course, consistent wickets falling down, and that's what New York, of course, did. Apart from good fielding, we did also see that Chennai, there was consistent fall of wickets, which is where they couldn't capitalize. We have a look at, of course, the Chennai, New York bowling, and you look at that, of course, the sense of wickets that they got in, 1 each for Jitu and Razin. Jitu turning out to be a complete package, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And even JD, I mean, yes, he didn't take a wicket, but he just gave away those 9 runs in that 1 over. So, like I said, you know, we discussed that these 2 sides have the best bowling ability in this tournament. And I think other teams are going to find it tough to break them down. And from that perspective, these 2 sides could be well in the top 4 as the tournament progresses. They are still in the top 4. Chennai would not be happy that they've lost the second game. But from that aspect, I think, yeah, they'll be tough to break down.
Well, let's start with talking about Chennai getting some good sleep. Well, I'm sure they will then. It's a lot of hard work that they've put in 2 games back-to-back, one at the start, one at the end. And when you look at the bowling, of course, from Chennai, and some consistent performances, I'm sure a lot of learnings for them to do as well.
Yeah, quite a few players who gave away a few runs. I mean, look at Anil, he gave away 22 runs. In a way, that's credit to the way, you know, New York batted, taking away those runs. 22 runs in that 1 over. But apart from that, I think decent bowling, but again, once you get that kind of a start, you get those couple of partnerships in, and I think Kamal batted really well. You know, he never really let go of the momentum that he had generated, and yeah, there was no fight back from Chennai thereafter.
Now, of course, you talk about the New York bowling as well. You know, like the New York Apes when they came down, they got in the likes of Simha, who tried to spin and get a wicket in that power play, who eventually got a wicket as well.
Yeah, I mean, power play wickets help. Again, it breaks the momentum. But they were able to recover, weren't they? So once they were able to recover, they were able to go on and get the score. So, yeah, I mean, look at it. Where is Chennai looking? Okay, you know what? This is where we lost the game. And that is in the bowling department. Gave away a few too many runs. Batting, yes. Look at the difference in the bowling department
Absolutely.
for both sides. Good bowling attacks. But this is where New York won and Chennai lost out.
Well, absolutely. When we look forward to that, they needed 24 in 12. In comes the like of somebody, you know, like Jitu would probably get a 6 and take off all the pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen the kind of impact these pure batsmen can make, you know, get the runs with a good strike rate. That's what he did. 20 of 6 deliveries, enough to win the game on the day. Absolutely enough to win the game.
But of course, what's more important is as well that a lot of diverse players are performing for the team, which is a good thing because when you have a diverse set of players who can come out at different times to perform.
Absolutely, and that's the good thing about this eCricket Premier League, the global eCricket Premier League, that we had so many people registering for the game, and we've selected the top 48, the best 48 players in the country, and they've been distributed depending on their skills, depending on their rankings, into these 8 teams. And from that, you're getting a really good competition.
Well, now there were certain pickouts and standouts when it comes to performance. One that would be of Kamal, who got 22 in just 8 deliveries. I'll tell you what, this man was incredible throughout. Look at that for a strike rate as well, yeah?
Yeah, he got 26. He got that last ball 4, yeah. I mean, to win the game.
4, yeah.
And he had 4 fours and a 6. Did not let go of the pressure that he had on the Chennai bowlers. 289 strike rate, deserved man of the match.
And well, we always remind all the viewers that well, it's not easy to hit a six on the Melbourne cricket ground, and this man, of course, got one of that. So kudos to him for all that effort. And of course, it's not just an individual effort when you come down to talk about winning the games, but it's also about partnerships. And when we have a look at a few partnerships which really got New York on the other side, we'll have to name a couple of them. Talk about the likes of Kamal pairing up with other members, the likes of Razin. He has been exceptional in the last game, remember, Razin, and this time he had a partnership as well.
Yeah, he's turning out to be a very, very crucial cog for them at number 3. Even if they lose an early wicket, he's in there. He's not your brute player. He's your radical player.
Right.
In that sense, he will take charge of the situation, whether it's an attacking situation or it's a defensive situation. So from that aspect, it's good to have somebody like a Razin over there. Kamal, just taking the confidence, going ahead with that, and then Jitu finishing off those innings. All three really good partnerships if you just consider it a 5-over game.
Well, now we talk about the partnerships for Chennai as well, something which could have troubled them earlier, but I'm pretty sure they do their homework when they go back to the drawing board, because they have to come out again with full swing when they come out and face the next opponents here. Because Chennai as well, you look at that, the one which Manoj and Anil had as well, 25, a decent one.
A decent one, but you would expect, to have a bigger partnership, one with more impact, because they were really settled that particular time. So
more in the opening, maybe?
More of the opening. I mean, yes, you will always have that risk of the opener getting out in the power play. But after that, once they got settled in, I thought they should have carried on, scored those big runs. Manoj did carry on, but Anil's wicket is where the momentum really got sucked out.
Well, of course, we have seen New York scoring those runs very cleverly as well. But you talk about where the ball went in, and this is what they made out of the balls. We look at the pitch map as well for New York, and that's how it looked like. Of course, you see the wickets down there along with all the runs which came in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the number of easy run balls that they got. They were able to score boundaries. They were able to score 2 runs easily. I mean, it's a big ground, so you don't get singles. You get to run 2 and 3s. So look at the blue dots. How many blue dots there were? How they were able to maneuver the field and hit the ball in the direction that they wanted. So I think that's a very, very good display of batting from the New York Apes.
I'm pretty sure, of course, the batters there are going to make a note of this, because this is where they're going to expect all the balls to come in, and all the other players as well in that situation. We talk about also where, of course, the runs were scored, or eventually. This is where, of course, for the bowling pitch map for New York Apes, look at that for runs which have been come, especially through the length.
Yeah, they were able to, again, like I said, they were able to maneuver the field in really good way. A lot of those, short of length, you're able to get it to the back foot, big ground, run those 2s and 3s. Look at the number of blues. I mean, it was easy for them to keep up the run rate, to keep up that required run rate, get the boundaries in when needed, and that's how they won the game. They didn't really need to work too hard, and that's why you see, somebody like Kamal, despite not having an average strike rate above 200, he was able to do the job today for New York.
Well, of course, this is a lot of things, of course, for us to learn as well. Eventually, how these players are going to cope up with the kind of pressure that is being put on them. Talk about New York Apes, of course, coming on, winning it convincingly with balls as fair and wickets as well. Now, you look at where the runs were scored, approximately more of that. You talk about it towards, let's say, the offside more?
No, I think look at it. I mean, they've scored runs everywhere. This is what we talked about. Length deliveries, they were able to just play it along the ground, get those boundaries. Yes, on the offside, they were able to get behind square, but look at that, 37%, 24%, 16%. That shows you, Chennai really didn't bowl any full deliveries. They were bowling back of length, short of length, which is why they were able to get on the back foot and play those kind of shots. But really, it's a very, very impressive way that they've played all around the park. There's not like one area that they have really targeted over here.
That speaks volumes about the batters that you have in the team, and knowing that they can exploit the bowlers when it's necessary, because you've done your research pretty well about the bowlers, when they're trying to play that. Now, of course, we speak about the mental ability as well to first understand where the ball is going to come, and then eventually also hit that ball which is going to come, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to time it really well. You have to pick where you're going to hit. I mean, there's so many shots. You can just go on creating the kind of shots you want to play for a particular type of bowling. So yeah, kudos to batsmen like Kamal.
Well, no match is complete without 4s and 6s. We bring to you the 4s and 6s by the Pulsar NS125 showstopper.
Just look at the way Kamal is able to maneuver the field. I mean, played switch hits, reverse hits, using the boundary to good effect, using the field to good effect. He knows in the power play, only two fielders are outside. Look at the way he's maneuvered. Just get it over the infield. Again, he's not a big hitter. Doesn't have that huge 200 plus strike rate that we talk about so often for big hitting players in this tournament. He just knows how to maneuver the field, make use of the power play, and once he got those runs in quickly, New York were never going to stop. So I think that's a masterful innings that he's played. Really used the way Chennai bowled today to his benefit. Back of length deliveries, aerial shots, and going for the boundaries.
Well, it's also important, of course, the fours and sixes are coming, but also when you're under pressure, to get those quick singles or probably the doubles, it really helps, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Big field. So apart from the fours and sixes, they were using those as release shots, really. Running the twos and the threes hard. And then once they were able to get those runs in, every over, they're picking those boundaries. And that just kept the run rate up, kept the pressure up on Chennai. And they were never able to recover.
Well, of course, the fours and sixes were there, but again, we had a couple of wickets which went down. Kudos to some good bowling by either sides, where Chennai fell short, but again, New York Apes did a pretty good job. When we have a look at the wickets brought to you by lenskart. There was the fall of wickets. Again, a lot of things for the bowlers to learn as well when they're trying to gauge the batters out there. Remember, it's a long tournament. Nothing's over for Chennai. They just played the second game here today. And I'll tell you another thing is that all the teams now know pretty much about each other. Of course, from the qualifiers as well, which they know individually. Now it's more of a team.
Absolutely. You know, individual players, that's your individual strength. But when you're playing in a team dynamic, that's very, very different because your roles are very, very different. Just look at somebody like Kamal. You know, when he was playing for himself, probably approaching the way he was batting very, very differently. Now, very, very differently.
Well, we have to understand how the points table now go forward because this is going to become very interesting now with New York Apes, of course, leading it with 4 points. Chennai, Dubai Vipers go up as well, courtesy to that net run rate with 1.85.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were talking about, how Chennai would go and rest easy, winning 2 out of 2 games. But look, it's New York Apes who are going to do that. 2 wins out of 2 matches, 4 points. Look at that run rate, 2.94. And because of that, the easy win they had, Chennai's run rate has really sunk. So what has happened is, because of that run rate, they've gone below the likes of Dubai Vipers and Kolkata Hawks. So it's kind of a double whammy for Chennai because they were top of the table when the day started and now they're at number 4. But like you said, long, long way to go. 12 more matches for them to go in this round-robin league stage.
Well, this will precisely tell you why we cannot predict anything of the Global Cricket Premier League because there's so much happening, so much of us to predict and also try to suspect, if I can put across it that way. But of course, we look at the runs now. We talk about the runs. Some of the batters have been phenomenal. Talk about the likes of Manoj. 46 runs. Incredible.
Yeah, he's played 2 games. So obviously he has a kind of a start. I mean, you look at Jitu and Sachin there. They're not too far behind, but, he's played 2 games now. So yeah, I mean, he's top of the charts. Anil again, these two really contributing to how Chennai are playing. So yeah, they have the batsmen, they have the bowlers. Like I said, these are 2 of the best sides in the tournament, New York and Chennai. The other teams are really going to find them very, very competitive.
Well, of course, the more they play, the more they learn. And of course, as we are trying to learn as well about cricket, esport as a game. And we'll have a look at, of course, the most wickets and, of course, who carries that badge along with them. Now, some interesting candidates here because we have seen those wickets coming down. Anil has been good with the bat, also with the ball, especially 3 wickets towards his name. Now, Razin and Mirdaji pretty much catching up.
Yeah, I mean, Anil didn't add to his wickets column in this game, so that's an opportunity lost for him. Mirdaji took 2 wickets in the 1 game that he played, so he has a game in hand. Again, Razin, 2 wickets for him in 2 games. So he's been picking wickets in both games he played, but not so much for Anil. So maybe an opportunity lost for them.
When you talk about the GEPL, of course, you've seen 4s and 6s, but also what we want to learn about is the strike rate, because it's very crucial from a stat perspective, because it'll give you an idea of what exactly and how these batters are performing. 271, 283. और क्या कहेंगे?
बिल्कुल क्या कहेंगे, क्योंकि ये बहुत जबरदस्त स्ट्राइक रेट है आज के दिन का, फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द GEPL. Such superb strike rates, 283. I mean, Praveen, he's just a new entry. London Rhinos, we saw how they, won their game against, how they won their first game, and then, they were able to count on that strike rate to win that game.
Well, of course, the stats are going to be there, but what's more important is that these athletes, of course, have played with their heart, and that's what it comes down to. Well, of course, the day one has been exciting, entertaining, enthralling, to say the least, but it all brings us down to the end of this day. And, of course, it's been a pleasure bringing all the action and coverage on JioCinema. We're coming up with action on the other side. Thank you so much. We have Neeraj, who is joining very soon.
After an entire day of heart-pumping action, we are finally at the end of day one. We saw 5 amazing matches, some high-scoring games, some one-sided cricketing brilliance, and a lot of drama. Stay tuned, because we have 10 more days of nail-biting actions. Today's losers can be tomorrow's winners. Watch it on JioCinema at 5 p.m. Now we would like to thank all of our sponsors. Title sponsor, JetSynthesys, official partner, lenskart, Bajaj Pulsar NS125, finolex pipe, and fleetguard Filtrum. Strategic partner, Real Cricket 24, skyesports, globalmusicjunction. Official education partner, dhruvglobalschool. Streaming partner, JioCinema. Broadcast partner, Sports 18. This is your host, Neeraj Puran Rao, signing off. This is GPL, and the game is on.
From the bottom and we win it. We came from the bottom and we win it. There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा, माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं. 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ धाबे पे. स्ट्रीम्स हो या ड्रीम्स, अब पूरा कामयाब मैं. कोहली वाला माइंडसेट और धोनी जैसा शाप मैं. हर पब में जी और गेम है मेरे हाथ में. हंसता सीधा बैंक तक 50 वाले लाफ में. हा 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 भाई तू है वीक और मैं लेता हफ्ता. खुद के तेरे हाथ नहीं तूने रखा चमचा. पूरा गैंग ग्राइमी हा टॉप सीधा शॉट्स तेरे ब्रेन में. बॉम्बे दा बैड मुंडा पंजाब तक कैंट में. नाम है डिवाइन पर बंदा नहीं हुसैन में. रिक्शा से निकला रोवर मेरे रेंज में. बैक बेंच वाले लड़के आए फ्रंट पेज पे. तू सड़क के महारानी के बेस में. मैं संजू बाबा वॉक करता हाथ रख के जेब में. देख ले खलनायक में और गुस्से वाला. फ्रैक्चर तेरा गैंग और मैं एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचने वाला. जी कोई है न कल कोई है तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. ना जी कोई है न कल कोई है तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. Competition नहीं. From the bottom and we win it. Sunday in no competition नहीं. We came from the bottom and we win it. There ain't no competition, कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा. माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे थाका मैं. 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ धाबे पे. स्ट्रीम्स हो या ड्रीम्स, अब पूरा कामयाब मैं. कोहली वाला माइंडसेट और धोनी जैसा शाप मैं. हर पब में जी और गेम है मेरे हाथ में. हंसता सीधा बैंक तक 50 वाले लाफ में. हा 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 भाई तू है वीक और मैं लेता हफ्ता. खुद के तेरे हाथ नहीं तूने रखा चमचा. पूरा गैंग ग्राइमी हा टॉप सीधा शॉट्स तेरे ब्रेन में. बॉम्बे दा बैड मुंडा पंजाब तक कैंट में. नाम है डिवाइन पर बंदा नहीं हुसैन में. रिक्शा से निकला रोवर मेरे रेंज में. बैक बेंच वाले लड़के आए फ्रंट पेज पे. तू सड़क के महारानी के बेस में. मैं संजू बाबा वॉक करता हाथ रख के जेब में. देख ले खलनायक में और गुस्से वाला. फ्रैक्चर तेरा गैंग और मैं एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचने वाला. ना जी कोई है न कल कोई है तेरे यार दा कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. ना जी कोई है न कल competition nahi. I came from the bottom and we winning. Sunday in the competition nahi. We came from the bottom and we winning. There ain't no competition. अब कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. और रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे धाका मैं. 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ ढाबे पे. Streams हो या dreams अब पूरा कामयाब मैं. कोहली वाला mindset और धोनी जैसा शाप मैं. हर पब में जी और गेम है मेरे हाथ में. हंसता सीधा बैंक तक 50 वाले लाफ में. हा 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 भाई तू है वीक और मैं लेता हफ्ता. खुद के तेरे हाथ नहीं तूने रखा चमचा. पूरा गैंग है ग्राइमी हा टॉप सीधा शॉट्स तेरे ब्रेन में. बॉम्बे द बैड मुंडा पंजाब तक कैंट में. नाम है डिवाइन पर बंदा नहीं हुसैन में. रिक्शा से निकला रोवर मेरे रेंज में. बैक बेंच वाले लड़के आए फ्रंट पेज पे. तू सड़क के महारानी के बेस में. मैं संजू बाबा वॉक करता हाथ रख के जेब में. देख ले खलनायक में और गुस्से वाला. फ्रैक्चर तेरा गैंग और मैं एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचने वाला. आज कोई है न कल कोई है. तेरे यार दा ता कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. ना आज कोई है न कल कोई है. तेरे यार दा ता कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. कंपटीशन नहीं. Came from the bottom and we winning. Sunday in the competition नहीं. We came from the bottom and we winning. There ain't no competition. अब कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. और रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे धाका मैं. 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ ढाबे पे. Streams हो या dreams अब पूरा कामयाब मैं. कोहली वाला mindset और धोनी जैसा शाप मैं. हर पब में जी और गेम है मेरे हाथ में. हंसता सीधा बैंक तक 50 वाले लाफ में. हा 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 भाई तू है वीक और मैं लेता हफ्ता. खुद के तेरे हाथ नहीं तूने रखा चमचा. पूरा गैंग है ग्राइमी हा टॉप सीधा शॉट्स तेरे ब्रेन में. बॉम्बे द बैड मुंडा पंजाब तक कैंट में. नाम है डिवाइन पर बंदा नहीं हुसैन में. रिक्शा से निकला रोवर मेरे रेंज में. बैक बेंच वाले लड़के आए फ्रंट पेज पे. तू सड़क के महारानी के बेस में. मैं संजू बाबा वॉक करता हाथ रख के जेब में. देख ले खलनायक में और गुस्से वाला. फ्रैक्चर तेरा गैंग और मैं एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचने वाला. ना आज कोई है न कल कोई है. तेरे यार दा ता कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. ना आज कोई है न कल कोई है. तेरे यार दा ता कोई कंपटीशन नहीं. कंपटीशन नहीं. From the bottom and we winning. Sunday in the competition नहीं. We came from the bottom and we winning. There ain't no competition. अब कोई नहीं मुकाबला. From the bottom निकला टॉप डाला पैसा तो मुनाफा माँ पे गाली सीधा लाफा. और रैप द नाका सुनते बांग्ला मुझे धाका मैं. 5 स्टार के कपड़े पहन के खाता मैं हूँ ढाबे पे. Streams हो या dreams अब पूरा कामयाब मैं. कोहली वाला mindset और धोनी जैसा शाप मैं. हर पब में जी और गेम है मेरे हाथ में. हंसता सीधा बैंक तक 50 वाले लाफ में. हा 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 भाई तू है वीक और मैं लेता हफ्ता. खुद के तेरे हाथ नहीं तूने रखा चमचा. पूरा गैंग है ग्राइमी हा टॉप सीधा शॉट्स तेरे ब्रेन में. बॉम्बे
All new Pulsar Mania's here. Maniacs wanted.
लेकिन ये पाइप चलेगा.
फिनोलेक्स पाइप्स पीढ़ियां बदलेंगी, पाइप नहीं.